Hello and welcome everyone on this official platform of Legacy IAS Academy. Just imagine two giant neighbors standing side by side for the centuries, sometimes shaking hands, sometimes staring each other down across the frozen water. One commands the dragon fire, the other wields the elephant's strength. Now, after 7 years apart, as you can see here on your screen, that on what issue I'm going to discuss. So after 7 years apart, now as you can see here that the whispers is actually spreading across the diplomatic corridor, and that is something related to the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that he may be heading to China. So as you can see here, why the news of Modi visit to China draws global attention, as you can see here, and why. So the time is very crucial because of US relations with India. So this is not just another political visit. As you can see, this is possible a turning point in the relationship between, you can say, over one third of humanity. So these two countries, which is considered as fastest growing economies, as well as two of the most influential powers in the global south. Now, as we know that in 2020 there was border clashes between India and China with respect to Galwan Valley 2020. So from border clashes in 2020, that actually plunged the relations into a deep freeze. Now to the quiet meetings in 2024 and 2025, where the words of friendship were spoken once again. Now, the stage is set for something the world has not seen in years. So, here is the political twist. This news actually dropped just as Washington slaps new tariffs on Indian goods, as you can see here on your screen. So, this visit can be considered as a calculative move to balance between the global powers, or is it simply two neighbors deciding that they can no longer afford the luxury of distance? So there can be anything. So stay tuned, because this is something which is more than diplomacy, and this is unfolding the chapter of the dragon as well as elephant, and the ripples could also be felt from Beijing to Washington this time, from New Delhi to the farthest corner of the world. So here, as you can see this news on your screen, so the context of the news here is what happened. So as you can see here, so what happened recently? So as you can see on Wednesday, okay, so on Wednesday, Indian media, including India Today, they have reported and they cited that through informed sources, they came to know that Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he may visit China from 31st of August to September 1 to attend the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit in Tianjin region. As you can see here, this is mentioned in this newspaper. Okay, so as you can see here, that this visit, so if this visit is materializes, if this happens, this will be Prime Minister Modi's first trip of China in 7 years. Now in 7 years, this is considered as first trip of China, okay, from the side of Prime Minister Modi. So as you can see here, so this visit is considered as a diplomatic relationship, a better diplomatic relationship in 7 years. Now, क्या चाइना और इंडिया ने इसको एक्सेप्ट किया है? सो नाइदर चाइना nor India has officially confirmed yet. Remember this thing. But as soon as the news came out, it caught the global attention. Now, there is one magazine called as The Diplomat. अब The Diplomat ने क्या लिखा? They actually said that for the past decade, India and China, they have gone through cycles of being close and then having the dispute. Now it might be a time for a new round of engagement talks between India and China. Now, why it matters actually? As you can see on your screen as well, that why it matters. So the main reason here is that India and China, if you see their geography, है ना? If you see this geography, so India and China, as you can see here together, India and China, they make up over one third. Okay, they make up over one third of world's population, and both are big as well as growing economies. Now let's try to understand the background. Now, what is the background on India China relations? So with respect to the disputed, or you can say the clashes, so the relation actually soured after 2020 border clash, which leading to a new low point with less political trust between both the countries, weaker economic ties, as well as fewer people to people contacts. Now things started improving from October 2024. अब कैसे अक्टूबर 2024 से ऐसा क्या हुआ? So let me tell you why. Because at that time in October 2024, when Prime Minister Modi and Chinese leaders, they met in Kazan region, as you can see here on your screen, they met in Kazan region, and they agreed that China and India are each other's developmental opportunity. They are not threat. Okay, दोनों country threat नहीं है. They are cooperation partners, they are not competitors. So since then only both have tried to meet halfway and keep up the positive progress. So this is the thing. Now what are the recent signs of warming the relations? तो अगर हम recent sign की बात करें दोनों ही countries के बीच में ऐसा क्या हुआ? So let's try to understand, as you can see on your screen as well. Okay, so since June 2025, three senior leaders from the side of India, they have visited China. So as you can see here, first one is Ajit Doval. Okay, Ajit Doval, who is also the national security advisor, visited China. Then as you can see here, Rajnath Singh, who is the defense minister of India, visited China. And the third recent visit, S. Jaishankar, external affairs minister, also visited China. So many bilateral mechanisms previously suspended, now these are being restarted. Now both the sides agreed not to let the border issue block overall relations. Now because of this there are various positive developments. So as you can see on your screen, now what are the positive developments? तो अभी काफी ज्यादा न्यूज में था that India allowed the resumption of pilgrimage to Mount Gang Rinpoche. As you can see here, Mount Gang Rinpoche and Lake Mapanyun, है ना, Lake Mapanyun, so in Xiang Tibet region में. तो ये इंडिया ने अलाउ कर दिया. एंड इंडिया ऑल्सो रीस्टोर्ड द टूरिस्ट वीजा इशुएंस फॉर द चाइनीज सिटीजन्स. So both hope, that is India and China, to use 2025 as the 75th, as you can see here, as the 75th anniversary of diplomatic relations to make more progress between both the nations. Now is there any challenge? Yes, challenges are still there between India and China. Challenges are there. Now what are the challenges? India has still restricting which hurt ties, that is with China. Like first of all, India is actually, as you can see here, reviewing and limiting Chinese capital investment in India. Then India is also restricting visas for the Chinese technical workers in India. And the third important thing here is there is delay in fully restoring the direct flight between the countries, that is India and China. So these are some important issues. So these things actually block the deeper economic cooperation and also damages the mutual trust between the nations. Then in this newspaper, this is also mentioned that Prime Minister Modi's visit could be a chance to fix these issues among the nations. So this is considered as very important. Now, with respect to global context, so let's try to understand with respect to global context. Now, with respect to global context, as you can see here on your screen, that prime now many they are considering, they are assuming that Prime Minister Modi's visit to China comes right after the US announced the major tariff hikes on Indian goods. Then some Western media they also claim that the visit is like India's way to hedge against the US, but this newspaper mentions that this visit can be considered as one sided also. अब चाइना का इस पर क्या कहना है? Now China says that, as you can see here on your screen, that China says that China India cooperation is not against any third country. Both the countries are ancient civilizations, which is mentioned by China. So both the countries are ancient civilization, both the countries are largest emerging economies, both the countries are the leaders of global south, and this is considered as important stages in the modernization. So both the countries actually they share many common you can say interest, बहुत सारे common interest, and they follow their own historical logic in their relations. So this should be considered as the warming of the ties, that India does not fully follow the Washington Indo-Pacific strategy to counter China. This is the scenario. अब सवाल ये उठता है, why it matters if Prime Minister Modi goes to China? अब ये इतना बड़ा इश्यू क्यों हो रहा है, क्यों इतना ज्यादा ग्लोबली इस चीज पर ऑब्जर्व किया जा रहा है? सी, China and India, they can cooperate in many areas. Like for example, counter-terrorism, trade, as well as cultural exchange. Now, working together in Shanghai Cooperation Organization, it helps their own growth as well as regional peace. Now, that is why in this article they have mentioned a Hindu proverb. Now what is Hindu proverb? इसमें लिखा हुआ है, इस न्यूज आर्टिकल में लिख कर आया है that remember this thing, help your brothers boat across and your own will reach the shore. A wonderful Hindu proverb is mentioned in this editorial as well, which means a historically, or you can say a healthy relations between India and China, it benefits the whole region as well as the world. So finally we can see that this visit, okay, from the Chinese side, they welcome Prime Minister Modi visit and with the genuine intentions as well as the practical plan, so that the dragon as well as the elephant can dance together. So this is why this visit is considered as very important with respect to the foreign policy as well as India's relations with China. So overall we can see, as the world hold its breath, and the question is no longer whether Narendra Modi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, will walk the streets of Tianjin at the SCO summit or not, but the real question is what he will carry back. And also, will it be the fresh agreements, trust rebuild, and a roadmap for the two civilizations to rise together? Or will it be a polite photograph masking the same old suspicions? So, history has actually shown us when China and India cooperate, the entire Asian continent feels the tremor in trade, security, as well as cultural exchange. And when they clash, the fault lines spread far beyond the Himalayas. So, the proverb which is mentioned in this editorial, we can see that that we have discussed also, that help your brothers boat across and you will and your own will reach the shore. So perhaps now the dragon and the elephant will not, or you can say will stop circling each other and begin to dance again, not for the spectacle but for survival, progress, as well as peace. Because let me tell you, in this country the fate of these two nations, or you can say in this 21st century, the fate of these two nations, that is India and China, is not just their own story. It is the story of the world's balance of power. It is something which is related to the new chapter might be written in this August visit of 2025. So if you want, I can also tell you why this visit is coming in on 31st of August, like if this visit materializes. because in the background there are various challenges, like US has imposed tariffs on India. So I hope this much is clear to all of you. So this is all about India and China relations in 2025. So let's see what is going to be the next. So until next time, stay curious and stay updated. Thank you so much.